Welcome back from that short break. The show is still The Break Live right here on Dominion Television, your channel of choice, where inspiration meets entertainment. Do well to link up with us on all socials, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. You can also watch us live on our website at www.dominion.org.ng, dominion.org.ng. Now it's time for Trend Watch this morning, and Oluwayemi Adelako is back in the studio.
And I'm glad to be back. That was an intense conversation.
Welcome back. That was really an intense one anyway.
Definitely. Okay, so what do we have for Trend Watch this morning? 30 billion Naira Bodija explosion fund. Heda drags Governor Makinde to Efcc as Oyo government cries 2027 on the politics. Allow me to take you through the major issues now. In a petition dated January 5th, 2026 and addressed to the Efcc chairman, Oyo State, Heda questioned the handling of the funds released for the compensation of victims, emergency relief and reconstruction of the affected Bodija community. And the petition signed by Heda's chairman, Olarewaju Suraju, expressed concern that only about 4.5 billion naira was reportedly applied to relief and compensation, while the bulk of the 30 billion naira intervention fund remained largely unaccounted for more than a year after its release. Now the fresh controversy has erupted over the federal government's 30 billion naira intervention fund released to Oyo State government after the devastating January 2024 Bodija explosion in Ibadan. So Heda is saying we need you to come and explain how you spent the money. The only amount we heard about is 4.5 billion naira, and I think Punch published that late 2024 to say about 4.5 billion naira was distributed to the victims. So the remaining amount of the 30 billion naira, you need to come and account for it. We've had several back and forth. Fayose went on national TV. As a matter of fact, if Fayose did not mention it, I'm sure a lot of persons will not know anything about this old money. But then he mentioned it, and then ever since then we've been saying one discussion to another to say we need to know what you did with the money. But then according to the state government, they released a statement to say that the money is in the bank intact. And a lot of Nigerians are not so cool. Let me say people of Oyo State are not so cool with the fact that you kept the money in the bank, and we still have people who are, lamenting, still trying to get up on their feet after the whole explosion. A certain man, I was told, needed certain amount of money, but then 1%, let me say out of, let's just assume maybe he needed 10 million naira, maybe about 1 million naira was given to the man to actually come up again. So the man is finding difficult to actually come up. We have people like that, several individuals like that. So this is the issue that we have in our hands this morning to say that why is it that the money was kept in the bank when we see our people who suffered loss, in that explosion that happened?
Well, I think recently the people of Bodija, where the unfortunate incident happened, also raised an alarm about, especially when they got to know that it was 30 billion that was released by the federal government, as against the 4.5 billion or thereabouts that was disbursed by the Oyo State governor. I mean, that's actually disheartening to know that, you could have gotten more, but someone decided to give you so little. And if you still go to that area today, I think we'll go there. You'll see what that place look like. It's still underdeveloped as we speak. Some cannot even afford to rebuild their houses because it was an eyebrow area with really expensive houses right there. But they're still there. Some are still uncompleted buildings. Some are still parcels of land that has not been developed. I mean, that's really disheartening for an area like that. Now, what I see is that I think this might end up being a complete waste of time. Reason being that Section 308 of the 1999 Constitution as amended grants immunity to the President, Vice Presidents, Governors, and Deputy Governors. The only thing the Efcc can do at this time is to investigate, gather evidence, and invite. It's just an invite. No arrest, is allowed. And attendance is only voluntary if the governor wishes to attend. And if he doesn't wish to, all you have to do is to just put your evidences somewhere. When it's done with his 8 years tenure, you can easily invite him and say, look, you had a pending case. It is time for you to come back and then, come and answer some questions. But as it stands right about now, we can continue to talk about it so that it becomes an awareness for people. If there are other revenues generated by the state government that is not being accounted for, people can begin to hold the government and the governors by the scruff of the neck and say, look, you have to account for every penny that comes into the coffers of the state government. That is good. That is advocacy. But if you think the EFCC will invite the governor at this time, it is a total waste of time. He has immunity. And that's a major problem in the Nigerian constitution. Granting immunity when questions should really have been asked. I understand why immunity is there, that if governors have no immunity and presidents have no immunity, people will continue to distract them with unnecessary court cases, and then they will leave governance and start attending to court cases. So it is quite understandable. But waiting for 4 years might be really stressful for people who are actually in the area of advocacy, asking questions. But then we can continue to do that. Civil society organizations can continue, pressure groups can continue to do that until the governor is done. I mean, he still has about 2 years or thereabouts. And once that is done, he can easily come out and say, look, I want to answer questions.
Yeah, but I really do feel like, if the governor is invited, he might just, attend, or let me say, honor the invitation. It is voluntary. Because, do you know why I said that? Yes, it might be done with, anything concerning, governorship election. Of course, he cannot contest again. But then, what if he still wants to, run for any other office? I mean, as a politician in the country. So this kind of issues can actually, affect him. We might not see that way, but then it will always come up at one point or the other. Allow me to link this to what happened with, Bala Mohammed, still a serving governor. There was a time he came out to say that the EFCC is harassing him, but then he has immunity. And then EFCC replied him to say that, yes, you have immunity, but that doesn't mean we cannot investigate you, especially when it's related to, misappropriation of funds, and that we need to get to the bottom of the matter. So it's no big deal. It's just an invitation. Just attend. I don't want it to get to a point where EFCC now say, oh, we invited him, we didn't see him, oh, yeah, he's finally here. Just like the one we had with Yabil. There was a time EFCC said that, no, we didn't see him. There was a time they said, oh, now we have Yabil in our custody.
And there were videos of him gallivanting around the city. Exactly.
It's a great issue, honestly. So I just want to believe that at the end of the day, the people of your state, we get to understand, how this money was spent. According to the government now, the last statement that I heard from them, the money is still in the bank, intact, and that's the problem that a lot of people.
According to what the government said. What if it's not there?
What if it's that's the kind of questions that Governor Makinde, we have to answer.
Because there were really there were shaky responses. At first, there was nothing like the 50 billion naira, and the other time they said, oh, it wasn't 50 billion naira, it was 30 billion naira, and then we have disbursed some amount of money, and then later they said, oh, the money is intact. I mean, how do you keep monies you have spent intact in a bank? These are serious questions. And I do hope that Governor Makinde will come out there and say, look, this is how these monies have been spent, or, oh, this is the receipt, you have fixed it in a particular bank. But then, how do you fix monies that are meant to develop a community that just suffered disaster?
Exactly.
I mean, that is a questionable decision.
And I also want to say that now that he's about to leave the office, and then his administration received that amount of money, I mean, a lot of things must be put in place to ensure that those who are supposed to get the money get it before he's out of office. Right, I mean, I think that's why, Heda is trying to say that come and account for how much you spend, so that over the remaining money can be distributed to the people who need it, who should collect it before you are out of office. I think it's very important.
Very important. Honestly. The question is it because of interest, or maybe you are waiting for the right time to disburse the money? But either way, it's a convenient point to leave it on this show this morning. Thank you for linking up with us. Do well to join us again tomorrow. Same time, same station, same host. Samson Balogun is my name. Keep being good out there. Keep being safe. Do not forget, corruption kills the society. Bye for now.
All right, my name is Oluwayemi Adelako, and I'm telling you, please stay safe, and of course, don't forget to be intentional about your goals. Today is Monday. Make good use of this week. Bye for now.